find a significant can also can actually have a meaning to someone's cultural and background. In my case, it's a pillowcase. You might be thinking, how can this be describe your background or yourself? But I come from a Mexican culture, and if you do, you most likely own one or have seen one. So this pillowcase is handmade, and it can be in different figures. It can be flowers, hearts, or anything you like, they can make it. This plays a role in my culture because all the women in my family were taught how to make these since we were young. My ancestors passed it down to us. My great grandma passed it on to her daughters, my grandma to my mom, and so on. And it plays an important role in my culture because all the women in my family have learned how to do it. I was taught when I was 10 years old, and I've always really liked it. It also describes where I come from, my Mexican culture, because when you go to Mexico, you see people making handmade things, like they're really creative, and you see them selling them in the streets. You see it represents hardworking people because you see people making things to make out a living. They sell things, and women actually make these, and that's how they make a living. Some of them, like, they sell them. So I identify with this because I have aunts that make that for a living. They actually make them and they sell them, and that's how I maintain their family. Every time someone in my family goes to Mexico, there's never a time that they don't bring some back. They always either buy some or my aunts make it, but it always brings it back, which is why we have a lot of these at home. And every time my grandma comes, we always make some. It's like a little hobby we have, and I really enjoy it because it's fun. And while we're doing it, like, my grandma starts telling me stories about, like, more about my culture, about my ancestors, and it just, every time, there's not a time that I don't learn nothing. So I always learn more about my ancestors, more about my culture, and it's just fun to do. It's actually relaxing. Like, when you're stressed, it can actually help you as well. And I think I will pass this down to my kids when I have some, and I hope my kids will pass down to theirs to keep the tradition going. It's just like, it's a piece of our ancestors, and I feel like every time I do it, I learn more, and I feel like I'm a part of them, and it's a good feeling. So with that said, this might just be a pillowcase, but it has a meaning to my life and my culture, and